When drawing finger joints, we need to keep in mind that we have 3 joints in each finger. 1, 2, and 3. And then on top of that, we use the nub as well. So we place that. So it's actually 4 total joints that we have to draw. And actually, the thumb also has the 3 joints that a finger would have. But we typically just focus on the 2. But in the back, we should have a joint which actually allows the thumb to have its mobility. So there's going to be 3 joints in the thumb and then a nub to go with that. So drawing these, I want to draw them from the top view. And we can go up to skeleton and create joints. And I need to click where my finger joints would be. Then the nub. Hit enter. Skeleton, create joints. Click where the joints belong. And then the nub. Hit enter. Create joints. Hit enter. Skeleton, create joints. Click on the joints. And hit enter. The thumb in this specific model is kind of hard to see. So I'm going to use the side view to draw the thumb. Skeleton, create joints. And I'll start back here. And then click at the joints and the nub. Now the problem is when I create these joints, I have an issue with the placement. For example, the thumb drew on the 0 plane. So we need to do some adjustment. Same thing has to be done for the fingers. So I'm going to highlight all my finger joint bases. And you'll see that they drew on the ground plane because we drew them from the top view. So I'm going to need to lift those up. I could also rotate them down. But in a perspective view, you'll see that there's some issues. They're not perfectly aligned up because they're actually too short since we drew them from. So I need to go through and adjust all of these joints. This may take a while. Now that the joints are all in position, I need to label all of them. So I'm going to grab the base of the thumb, and I'll call this J underscore capital L underscore thumb, another underscore, and O1. Since I have so many things to label, often what I like to do to save a little time is to highlight the entire row and then hit Control C on the keyboard, which is actually a copy. This way I can grab the next joint in the thumb, click on the name, hit Control V, which is paste, and I can get rid of the 1 and replace it with a 2, saving me a tremendous amount of typing. I can grab the next joint, click on the text, Control V, and set O1 to O3. And the last joint, I'll click, Control V, and this doesn't have a number. This should be labeled as L underscore capital L underscore thumb underscore nub. So now I'm going to grab the index finger, and I'm going to label it as well. J underscore capital L underscore index underscore O1. I can copy, highlighting my text, Control C. Then I can grab the next joint, click on the text, Control V to paste, and type in 2. Keep going. Next joint, Control V, label that 3. The last joint, Control V, and I'll call this nub at the end. I'll move on to the middle finger, highlight the base, J underscore capital L underscore middle underscore O1. I want to copy, highlight my text, Control C, grab the next joint, Control V, add a 2. Next joint, Control V, add a 3. Next joint, Control V, add nub. I'll move on to the ring finger. J underscore capital L underscore ring underscore O1. Highlight my text, Control C. Highlight the next joint, Control V, add a 2. Highlight the next joint, Control V, add a 3. Highlight the last joint, Control V, and add nub. And finally the pinky. I'll highlight the base joint, J underscore capital L underscore pinky underscore O1. I'll highlight the text, Control C, grab the next joint, highlight the text, Control V, add a 2. Next joint, Control V, add a 3. Next joint, Control V, and add nub. Now I need to parent all of my fingers to my palm joint. We do this by highlighting the root joint of the finger and then shift selecting the palm joint. We then go up to Edit, up at the top, and then choose Parent. You can also select the root joint of the next finger, hold Shift, and click on the palm joint. And instead of going up to Edit and clicking Parent, we can just hit the letter P on the keyboard to parent. I find this to be a little bit quicker. If you want to link multiple fingers together, this can all be done at once. We can grab the root joint of multiple fingers and then, while holding Shift, click on the palm joint, and if we hit P, it'll parent them all at the same time. We can also attach this thumb. Going to grab the root joint, click on our palm joint, and hit P. So the arm is actually taken care of for the left arm, with the exception of one more joint. I like to add a clavicle, and I'll do that by looking in my front view. And what we can do is we can go up to Skeleton, Create Joints, and I want the clavicle to sit about here. And I would like to label it J underscore capital L underscore clavicle. We can parent this into the structure by highlighting our shoulder joint and then shift selecting the clavicle and hitting P. So this should complete the entire arm bone structure.